Hey everybody.
What's happening?
How y'all doing?
Everybody doing okay?
Welcome back
Yeah, welcome back. We're back again.
with another episode of Kicking It with the Smiths.
That's right. The new installment.
Yes, 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 yes. Y'all have to forgive me. A sister is a little tired,
Mm.
but we still gonna make this happen because we got to keep bringing the people the content.
Yeah.
So before we dive in, like, share, subscribe, all of the above. We appreciate those of you that have been watching and commenting and,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, coming to us face to face and giving us feedback. We appreciate it.
Sharing your story, sharing the tidbits, the highlights.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that and want y'all to keep it coming because it inspires us to keep bringing y'all content.
Shout out to the people. Right. That's why
Yes,
we're here.
that's why we are here. And we kind of just talked about we're actually thinking about doing a live,
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did. We did just talk about it.
doing a live podcast and not just recording, but actually doing a live. So stay tuned.
That's right. We're doing it live. So when we do the live, y'all got to show up. Y'all got to come out and show up in the chat on the stream when we do the live.
Yes,
Share, invite your folks, because when we do the live, we'll let you know, and we want to interact, engage with our people, with our community.
exactly.
So we'll let you know about that. Do the live. It's gonna be good.
It'll be real good. It'll be real good. So we're going to finish up our conversation that we were having about, relationship roles. And where we left off, Dana had made a good tip, and I'm gonna let him talk about his tip for y'all.
What tip did I make when we left off?
He was talking about we had mentioned being traditional, but not traditional, and in some ways we still are traditional. But you had said that even though in our marriage we look at you as the head of the household,
mm-hmm.
it's not just your way or the highway in all things.
Well, yeah, no, because I was saying that we left off as that, yeah, being flexible, because it's flexibility, especially in different seasons. You'll learn that different responsibilities may change, or different roles may change, because life changes, life happens, things happen with people, jobs, kids, health issues, etc. But also, I was talking about traditional in the sense that, of course, being believers, we ascribe, not subscribe, ascribe, but we believe and subscribe to the Bible, in that its view of the household in the home. And we see very clear from Genesis all the way through the New Testament how the man, the husband, is supposed to be the leader and the head of his household and the head of the home. And he has that responsibility to God, and responsibility to his family, of that stewardship and setting that example, excuse me, in that model, just like Christ did, as we hear and is described in the New Testament, as Christ is the head of the church, and how he led his sacrifice, and how he loves the church, that the husband is to be that example. And we see it in the Old Testament, as God interacted with both the patriarchs and even some females in the Old Testament that he used to get things done, but as the men in I understand context of the cultural society that they were in the Old Testament, but that the men being the head of the household. And so we believe that's the case, but that doesn't mean that as a man that makes you a dictator, where your every thought is right and everything you think and say is law, based on your own understanding, with no input from God and the Word, or communication with your spouse.
Mm.
Because one, no one is always right except God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you kind of look. Some people looked at Genesis, Exodus, and you just breezed over, some stuff that happened after that, and you breezed over, what happened in Samuel and Proverbs, and getting the safety of the multitude of counsel, and you got the New Testament, and you kind of breezed over the fact that there was Jesus walk around being God, but then had apostles, and after he left, the apostles had this whole basically council. But anyway, but also that if you look at from the very beginning, that God gave the woman as his help. Help. Help me. You need help.
Yep.
Doing what?
Everything.
Stuff. Everything.
Yep.
You did have an assignment and a job. And so in our household, while my wife does like, hey, you are the leader, you're the head. But when we come to making decisions, there is like conversation.
Oh, yes.
And it's for us to be in agreement, because the Bible also talks about the men and women becoming one flesh when they're married, about the power that there is in agreement. So there's agreement about stuff, and then there's accountability. Like, you just can't go spend all the money, dude, and then
I grabbed that wallet like Jane Jetson. I'm joking.
And she don't even have to grab it, because I'm like, look, yeah, paycheck come in, hey, because I want to make sure that everything's done. And that's because as a leader, as we see in the Bible, and I just wanted to get on this point and let you jump in, honey, is that leaders lead by example and they serve. They don't just dictate and lord over.
So I'm going to try to figure out how to tie this in, because let me tell y'all about this weekend.
What happened?
You don't remember what happened this weekend?
I mean, yeah, it was a busy weekend.
It was. So, okay, I sing on the praise team at our church.
She sang good, y'all. She sang.
I sing on the praise team at our church.
Yes, she sang.
And on Saturdays, we have praise team rehearsal. And typically on Saturdays, because my husband is such an awesome man, he typically keep these kids, right?
I do.
He keep these kids, y'all.
I do.
And, most men, they like, nah, boo, you got the kids. Like, you got it. You their mama, you got it. But Dana typically keep our kids. And I appreciate him for that, because of the flexibility that he mentioned.
And I'm their daddy.
Exactly.
Spend time with your own kids.
Because of the flexibility. So I'm appreciative. But this past Saturday, Lord have mercy, Dana had to be to work at 5:30 in the morning. And I had to take them kids to rehearsal. Now, mind you, me thinking that I'm being smart, I was like, okay, babe, when you get ready to go to work, I'm going to get up, I'm going to take my shower, and I'm going to be ready. Lo and behold, these little people come in the room at 5:30. And they are wide awake.
I don't know why, because they normally do not wake up that early on Saturdays. But this Saturday is like, oh, daddy is gone.
Get her. So they're wide awake. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just, y'all go play, and then I'm going to get y'all ready to go. And it was like 6:30, and I was like, okay, I can get y'all breakfast ready. I can get myself ready. I can, do all the little small things I got to do. And then we'll leave and be on time for rehearsal. Needless to say, I was not on time for rehearsal. They drove me crazy. They didn't want to listen. They knew that their daddy was not home and that they could run over mommy because mommy is by herself. So let's drive her wild. So needless to say, I appreciate my husband because he takes charge, and kids, they need that manly voice for them to get themselves together, especially my son. Like, my son need to hear his daddy voice. My daughter, she be like, mommy, I'm okay. I'm your favorite daughter. It's okay. I'll do whatever you say. But my son, is like, oh, my daddy ain't here. Let me see how many things I can break, how many things I can get away with while my daddy's not here,
Mm-mm.
and just run over my mama. And that's exactly what they did. Well, what he did to me on Saturday morning. And I was late for rehearsal, needless to say. But I just appreciate my husband. I said all that to say I appreciate him because on Saturdays he just takes charge. He's like, nope, don't worry about it. Go to rehearsal, bring me some lunch back. I will see you when you get home. And I'm like, cool. But this Saturday, I commend him because a sister was struggling by myself. So not only do I commend my husband for being as awesome as he is, single mothers, single fathers, I commend you.
100%.
I commend
Yes.
you
Hats off.
because those two little people made me want to pull all these braids out my hair. So yes, I commend y'all. Just being real, like 100%. All jokes aside, I
Absolutely.
commend y'all because it is not easy. It's not easy with us together sometimes.
No, yeah,
So
no.
I commend y'all wholeheartedly from the depths of my heart. Commend you.
Well, I mean, we approach it as a partnership, right?
Yep.
We talked about last time. It's a partnership, so we are tagging in, tagging out, and doing things all the time. And now we've had some stuff just that we know is innately somebody's going to the other does, and we just jump in, and it's more not natural, that kind of a dance that we do. But it's a partnership. We,
It
so
is.
one person doing something, the other person is, okay, you got the kids, all right, well then I'm gonna go get dishes, and then okay, well then I'm gonna go do some with dinner, and when I
Right.
need to warm up, and okay,
Right.
well tag, you need to go do that, well I'll come in here. And so we just we work it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that.
It works. And you can tell when somebody is missing. Like you can tell when one partner is out of commission because it's like, what do I do? Like Dana is typically the drink maker for the kids, and I had to make the drinks tonight. And they kept asking, "Mama, where's my drink? Where's my drink?" And my brain is like, "I fixed the plates. Daddy fixed the drinks. Okay, fix the
Yeah,
drinks."
I didn't. I was tied up with something else, so I didn't in the meeting. So I didn't make the drinks like I normally do whenever the plates are being made. So it was just one of the things that just happens all the time. So when they didn't have their drinks, they were like, "We want something to drink," and mommy was like, "Oh,
Yeah. So, I mean, you get into this routine of what your role is, and then when you have to add on to the other role, it's like, I didn't realize you did that.
oh
I
yeah,
didn't realize that's part of the puzzle that you
yes,
complete.
yep, nope."
Help me.
Daddy does like mommy does it all the time. No, mommy does it this way, or daddy does it this way, and you're like, oh, like my wife has gone out of town on trips a couple of times for work, and I'm like, no, I have the kids because I just believe that dads, fathers should interact with their kids too. It shouldn't be like when mommy does the stuff and dad's just kind of, man, me go slave, me go out and slay the beast and bring home the bacon, and then I go sit down. So I had to learn the things that my wife did. Even when I remember when our daughter was little,
Mhm.
that first year, and you had to go away for a few
When I went to
days,
DC,
and I had and our daughter was
had just turned 1.
yeah, because she was still doing the formula,
She was still doing breast milk and formula.
and
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, it's me and you, kid. I got a little bit of reserves of breast milk. I got this formula. I had set up a station in our room, and luckily my side of the bed was close to the bathroom. And I was like, all right, so I'm prepared in the middle of the night to get up, go get this formula bottle in. And I was like, you're gonna have to drink this, go back to sleep, because I don't have no more breast milk. That got to last us till mommy get back. Okay,
Yep.
so you got to
But the
you got to
hilarious
work.
thing,
You got to work with
when I
that.
got back, she was like, I'm done.
Hey, because that's all daddy had. Daddy had the formula. And I'm like, please, Lord, God, please, daughter, please, you got to work with me. Because this what we got. It's late at night. Daddy got to get you dropping you off at daycare, pick you up from daycare, work all day between, and me and you together. And I mean, I love my daughter, so it wasn't like I wasn't like I don't know what to do with the baby. Like I knew how to
Yeah,
change the
he
diaper. Like
he did really well.
nah,
He did really well.
it's
He
just
handled
like
it. He handled
I'm
it
like
really
this is all
well.
we got to eat right now. So
Yeah.
yeah, nah,
And the good thing was she was by that time she was starting to try salads and of
yeah,
course, eating the still eating baby food, but
right.
moving towards solids. But it's just that nighttime feeding. That
Right.
sister was, yeah.
I was ready.
So
I was.
I just I just say pay attention because even though you and your spouse, fit the pieces of y'all puzzle together in the event that, as for me, like on this past Saturday, I was like, help me. I had to prepare the bag. I had to prepare the snacks. And daddy's usually doing all that while I'm doing other stuff. And I was like, literally having to talk myself through it like, okay, do you have everybody's cup? Do you have everybody's snack?
Yeah,
Okay, Tobias don't eat that for snack, but Danielle does.
that's right.
So you got to make sure that you got Tobias snack too.
Mhm.
And Danielle don't need to change the clothes because Danielle is good, but Tobias need diapers, pull-ups, change clothes,
Yep.
and is it all in the bag? Do you got both people bags? Because Dana's usually my checklist partner,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was struggling. So yeah.
Daddy's used to Saturdays. Daddy get up, he had that breakfast. All right, here y'all breakfast. Okay,
I had the breakfast down pat.
but then it's like, all right,
It was
let's
everything else.
move to the bag. We move the snacks. Get the playtime. Okay, y'all gonna play. Yeah. So
It was everything else. It was everything else.
But you made a good point about paying attention and watching what your spouse does. To just know the different things that your kids or the not even I say your kids or that gets done around the house,
Yep.
so that you can help fill in or know that like that's what needs to get done when you're not here, and two, appreciate them.
Yep.
I would say the one thing about noticing other people's roles is you appreciate how much they do.
Yep.
Like, wow,
Most definitely.
you do all
Most
that? Like, oh,
Because I can say one thing for us is Dana does a lot more of the visible work, like the dishes, the laundry, and the ironing of the clothes, but I do a lot more of the behind the scenes work, making sure that we have laundry detergent and making sure that the bills are paid so that we can wash the clothes and making sure that we're able to cook dinner because the lights are on and making sure that, all the financial stuff. So behind the scenes, but we don't count it as anyone doing more than the other because
no.
our workloads may not necessarily be even, but they're more so um what do I want to call it? Not a give and take, but
Complimentary or
yeah,
to
like an exchange,
It's,
a back and forth exchange of making sure it's done. So
no, I mean it is like you said, it's and now it works. Like you figuring out what works, and we've had those conversations about okay, well we kind of need to change that, or what works better, or I say like, well, what do I need to help you do,
right.
or if that's too much, okay, well then tell me how I can help you to help make that easier for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because also I don't want my wife to get stressed out or burnt out, especially when I can help or I have capacity, or if nothing else, even if I sacrifice so that she can have a less stressful time, especially if that means that it's going to mean more time for the family or for just us.
Because we need our time.
I'm gonna just be selfish. Sometimes it's just us time. Like, so you gonna have a little bit more energy if I go in here and bust these suds, but these dishes about to get clean.
Because that's one thing that we found is that, and I think we said this in another video, but ensuring that you spend adequate time with your spouse and dating your spouse are essential for your relationship.
Facts.
And it comes with both of y'all planning the date. Like, we talk about it. Sometimes I'll plan the date. Sometimes he'll plan the date, and sometimes it's a mutual date. So it's essential for the success of your relationship.
And like we talked about last time, is, you know, different seasons, things may change, and so it's all about the communication. But we, with the roles, it's there. As we said, there's some like roles that we're like, hey, this works better for us now, but in the past it didn't work that way. But we still, as believers, are like, hey, your husband should be leading the home, and even if your husband, the male, you don't make as much money, your spiritual leadership is still vital. You can do that regardless of how much money you make.
Yep.
And that's one thing that, I won't say one thing, it is a thing that that happens in our marriage. Is that I'm concerned about that. I'm sensitive to that, to the spiritual things, and try to be sensitive to the spiritual temperature of our home and what's going on. And so I'll make certain, and I will make in those moments certain adjustments or certain things like, no, I don't think we should do that, or nope, from now on we're doing praise and worship in the morning. Nope, you're not watching anything else and listening to that praise and worship. That's what's happening. Or nah, daddy don't feel comfortable with that. I don't. Nope. Or let's not watch so and so anymore because after I've done some studying, some praying, I don't. Nope.
And daddy leads. Like my husband leads our household, and he is very strategic, very thoughtful, and leads our family in a way that at this point in our marriage makes it easy to follow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It makes it easy to submit, and I don't feel like
the S word. What are the S words?
I don't feel like submitting is a weakness, because I think when people hear the term submit, they think like just surrender, and submit doesn't necessarily mean surrender. It just means to allow your husband to lead your family the way that God designed it. But you got to make sure, ladies, make sure that the way your spouse is leading is the way that Christ would lead the church.
Well, because I'm submitting to Christ, right? Like I have leadership in my life and people that I'm accountable to.
Exactly.
Because if you can't submit to nobody, then you shouldn't be leading nobody.
Exactly.
And well, that makes it hard. But I'm submitted to Christ, and that's what we see in the Old Testament. We see in the New Testament is a man submitted. So I'm trying to be like, okay, God, I asked him for wisdom and grace, and show me things about my family. Show me which way we need to go. Give me understanding. Give me vision. Give me sight. Give me revelation. Give me wisdom on what I need to do. Help me be better believer in Christ, just for me, but then also as I do that, be better for my family. So I'm doing that, and out of me doing that in my relationship with him, it just begins to produce fruit in an easier environment. Then my life goes where she has told me, and like, I'm not me saying, but she has told me like, okay, well, yeah, okay, we following Jesus, so this is okay. It's not that we always agree on everything, but I don't just go, well, this is what we're doing, and that's it. Like, we have a conversation. We come to an understanding, or at least a point of, well, we disagree on this, but this is why I'm saying this, or this is how I feel. And we both do, and this is what we do as a marriage.
Exactly. So, yeah.
You said about to submit though. That you brought up to submit. That's one I found out that, and this may be get into another video, that there's several, I won't call them trigger words, but key words or things that are important in marriage, and especially I find out from women, and that are things that you have to talk about or need to be talked about. Topics like submission and safety and security. And when I hear a woman drop some of those words, I lean in like, oh.
because those are important, and we can talk about those in another
Yeah,
episode. We can talk about the importance of your wife feeling safe, secure, and able to submit. I think that's a whole
the
conversation.
S
I
words.
think it's a whole conversation.
It is.
Just like you had mentioned something earlier about um, women being able to allow their spouse to lead even when their spouse isn't the main breadwinner. We got some stories to tell, like of the beginning of this
Yeah,
marriage,
yeah.
how we have some of the struggles. So we got some stories to tell. Y'all just gotta come back for the for the goods.
Because roles, and that's what we talked about in the other videos, that we're defining roles not just based off what someone or culture is saying, but also as we look at the Bible and what are the identities and the roles that are displayed in Scripture for the man and woman, for the husband and wife, and go, okay, yeah, like that's what we need to do. Because
we can dive into that too.
Because if you look at Proverbs 31, some of those things are like, oh, she manages her house well. She knows how to handle finances.
Yep.
So clearly, she knew how to handle some. So she touched the money. She handled the money, or she's enterprising.
And y'all, me and I always talk about y'all want a Proverbs 31 woman.
I think it says something like she's enterprising, or she's crafty, or she's well good with her hands. Some to that effect. I'm paraphrasing.
Yes.
But yeah,
yes.
So it was like, So yeah, it's we just have learned that and navigate in that vein our family.
Yep. And I think that's the most important thing. You have to make sure that it works for you and works for your family. And it's about what the Bible says, and allowing the man to be the head and to be the leader, but it's also about making that same role work for your household.
And I just wanted to say, since you mentioned submission, I wanted to say that a couple minutes ago when you said it, was that if you're leading in the right way and you're leading and you're following Christ, then that submission is really easier. But in one way, when you're leading the household like that, you'll lean in and want to converse with your spouse and be on the same page and have conversations about doing things, because you understand the importance of getting that leading, getting that buy-in, understanding, because there are ideas and perspectives that she has that I don't have that are very helpful and beneficial in making decisions. I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. I didn't think about that with the kids. Okay. I didn't think, oh, yeah. Good point. I remember now. And that perspective is important. So I just want to say that too. Like, if you, as you talk about the man being the head and leading his home, in that leading doesn't discount or negate your wife's input or you having discussion, right? Like, and having conversation.
Conversation is important.
And being a partnership rather than what sometimes we see as well.
A dictatorship.
Yeah, it's like, I'm dead. This is long. I'm like, yeah, I do. I mean, we do set rules, and I do like, hey, no, and my wife would be like, nope, daddy said, ain't happening. But also sometimes be like, well, honey, this is what I think. What do you think? And she's like, well, not going down, not happening. Because one of the things I do in my role is back up and support and reinforce my wife. So mom says no popsicles. Hey, ain't no popsicles. Go to bed.
Go to bed.
Nope. Mommy said no. We're a team. Mommy said no popsicles.
And it's crazy. Just a joke. The 5-year-old has already discovered mommy said no. I'm gonna go ask daddy.
But daddy doesn't change it. I don't. I say, what did mommy say? And she be like, I'm like, mommy said what? Let's go ask mommy.
She has already discovered it, and I find that hilarious because I'm like, ma'am, you're 5. Why do you know this already? Why?
I want daddy. I'm not changing
Why?
it.
Why? I already got that manipulation going on at 5. Shaking my head. But, you know, we, as always, appreciate y'all. We hope that you
Yep.
have gotten something out of this, and that you'll take into consideration some of these tidbits as you are working on your relationship with your spouse
Yes.
or your future spouse. Because some of these things you can start doing before
Yeah.
you say I do.
It's good conversations to have.
Yes.
Oh, you said, I know we got to go, but can I just
Yep.
having these conversations like when you doing
Dating.
dating,
Engaged.
engaged, and you do, especially if you go to premarital counseling, which you should.
Yes.
Having a conversation about roles, relationship, figuring out who's better at what and who, or when we have kids and what, or when we get a house. So important to establish that, set expectations.
Figure it out.
Yep.
So we appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Kicking it with the Smiths.
You know what it is.
You know, we appreciate y'all. And like, share, subscribe, comment.
That's right.
Give us some feedback. We are working toward gaining some more subscribers to this good YouTube channel. Yeah, so we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, no, I mean, you said it. We're working on that. We're working on things like we talked about doing a live. We got some other ideas and stuff. So that we are working and planning and praying about. So
Yes.
just be on the lookout. Make sure that you click that subscribe and click that note. Make sure you get the notifications.
Yeah,
that pop
get the
up.
notifications.
So you know when there's a video that comes out, a clip or a short or
Yeah, because we've been doing shorts too.
yep.
So
So look out for the shorts.
Yep. So depending on how things work out, we might even, haven't said this to Dana yet, but we post a lot of stuff on our Instagram from our channel. So might be conjuring up a Kicking It with the Smiths Instagram for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes.
Yep. Stay on the lookout. Stay on the lookout.
We'll see how that goes. So
see the ideas.
Hey, it's teamwork. Teamwork definitely makes the dream work, and that is a fact. Not only in your job, but in your marriage.
100%.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Facts.
Appreciate y'all.
Y'all know what it is.
Hashtag Kicking It with the Smiths.